Good day, everyone! Today we'll be diving into postmodern literary theory, a fascinating and sometimes mind bending way of looking at literature. Unlike earlier theories that search for clear meaning and order, postmodernism asks us to question everything. What is truth? Who gets to decide? Can stories even have one meaning? In this theory, you'll see how literature can be fragmented, ironic, playful, and full of uncertainty. It reflects a world where we don't always get clear answers, and that's exactly the point. We are your presenters for today. I am Kian Hisula, and with me are my co-discussants Michael J. Ordiniza, Mary Jane Udelia, and Roosevelt Zangud. Let's begin by understanding where postmodernism came from and how it changed the way we read and interpret texts.
Postmodern literary theory emerged in the mid 20th century, particularly after World War II, as a reaction against the Enlightenment ideals of reason, order, and progress that had dominated the modernist period. The horrors of war, the rise of consumer culture, mass media, and the growing distrust in grand narratives like the religion, science, and ideology fueled a literary movement that embraced fragmentation, irony, and skepticism. It gained traction in 1960s to 1980s alongside parallel movements in philosophy, art, and architecture.
Modernism came out of the late 19th to mid 20th century, focused on innovation and finding deeper meaning in an increasingly complex world. Postmodernism arose after World War II, influenced by political upheaval, technological change, consumer culture, and the rise of mass media. Thinkers like Jean-Francis, Lyotard Jacques Derrida, and Michel Foucault played key roles in shaping postmodern thought. Lyotard's critique of the meta-narrative centers on the inherent skepticism towards overarching explanations of history and knowledge. He posits that truth is context-dependent and emerges from localized interactions and language games, rejecting the possibility of universal truths. Meanwhile, Derrida's deconstructionist methodology emphasizes the inherent instability of language and meaning. By analyzing binary oppositions and the play of difference, he reveals the inherent contradictions and the undecidability within text, challenging logocentric assumptions of fixed meaning and stable foundations. Lastly, Foucault's work examines the intricate relationship between power and knowledge, demonstrating how institutions and discourse shape individual behavior and produce socially constructed realities. His analysis of disciplinary mechanisms and the deployment of knowledge reveal the pervasive influence of power structures in the formation of truth and the normalization of social norms. In short, he believes that powerful institutions can bend the realities and truth. Postmodern literary theory challenges traditional narrative forms and embraces complexity, fragmentation, and self-awareness in literature. Here are 6 outlines that underpin this approach, each contributing uniquely to postmodern texts. First, we have metafiction. Metafiction involves a narrative that draws attention to its own artificiality. It plays with the structure of fiction and often breaks the fourth wall. A novel that reminds the reader it is just a novel not only disrupts immersion but also invites readers to reflect on the nature of storytelling itself. This technique is common in works by authors like Italo Calvino and Kurt Vonnegut. Second, we have intertextuality. Intertextuality emphasizes the interconnectedness of texts. It suggests that no literary work exists in isolation. Instead, it draws meaning from references, echoes, or influences of other texts. For instance, contemporary novels referencing Shakespeare not only pay homage but also enrich their meaning through these associations. Third, we have pastiche. Pastiche refers to the blending of different genres, styles, or voices without attempting to harmonize them into a single cohesive form. It reflects a celebration of diversity rather than unity, often resulting in a collage like narrative. This approach can be seen in works that mix science fiction with detective stories or romance, such as postmodern films like Blade Runner. Fourth is paranoia. A recurring theme in postmodern literature is paranoia, an inherent distrust of systems, authority, and historical narratives. This concept reflects anxieties about control, surveillance, and the reliability of knowledge. Authors such as Thomas Pynchon often explore this in their works, suggesting that the truth is elusive and possibly manipulated. Fifth is temporal distortion. Postmodern texts frequently employ nonlinear storytelling, jumping through time or presenting events out of sequence. This fragmentation mirrors the chaotic nature of modern life and destabilizes traditional narrative flow. It allows for multiple interpretations and layers of meaning. The sixth and last one is hyperreality. Perhaps one of the most philosophical aspects, hyperreality refers to the replacement of reality with simulations or media representations. In postmodern literature, characters might interact more with representations than with reality itself, blurring the line between what is real and what is constructed. This idea is central to the works like Don DeLeo's White Noise or even films like The Matrix.
These are the notable authors and works associated with postmodern literary theory, which is a movement that emerged after World War II. As we all know, postmodern literature is known for its reliance on narrative fragmentation, metafiction, unreliable narrators, intertextuality, irony, and a questioning of objective truth. So the first notable author is Thomas Pynchon, which is known for his work Gravity's Rainbow, a complex, nonlinear novel that explores paranoia, war, and technology with dark humor and intricate storytelling, key traits of postmodernism. The next one is Don DeLillo, which is known for his work White Noise. It satirizes consumer culture and media saturation, focusing on how modern society is shaped by technology and fear of death. Next is Margaret Atwood. Her work is The Handmaid's Tale, a dystopian narrative blending speculative fiction and political commentary, challenging gender roles and authority, a crossover between modern and postmodern literature. The fourth is Italo Calvino. His work is If on a Winter's Night, a Traveler. It is a metafictional novel that breaks the fourth wall, involving the reader directly and exploring the nature of storytelling. The fifth is Salman Rushdie. His work is Midnight's Children. This work mixes magical realism with historical fiction, using fragmented narrative to explore identity and post-colonial themes. So the sixth one is Kurt Vonnegut, which is his work is Slaughterhouse-Five. It is a non-linear metafictional war novel that blends science fiction and satire to challenge traditional narratives and views of time and fate. Last notable author is Umberto Eco, which is known for his work The Name of the Rose. It combines detective fiction, semiotics, and historical narrative in a way that reflects postmodern skepticism about truth and meaning. So the seven notable authors of postmodern literary theory are Thomas Pynchon, Don DeLillo, Margaret Atwood, Italo Calvino, Salman Rushdie, Kurt Vonnegut, and Umberto Eco. These authors exemplify postmodern literature's core themes: uncertainty, multiplicity of meaning, and self-awareness of the text, as a constructed artifact.
Its creative range, postmodern faces criticism. Some argue it is overly relativistic, rejecting clear moral or aesthetic values. Others say it makes literature inaccessible through complexity and irony. However, defenders of the movement claim it accurately mirrors to the chaotic, media-driven world we live in today.
In conclusion, postmodern literary theory reflects the complexities and uncertainties of the contemporary world. Through its rejection of fixed meanings, linear narratives, and authoritative voices, it offers a unique lens through which to view literature and culture. Though debated, its influence on literary studies, cultural theory, and modern storytelling remains profound and enduring.